Now we're finally getting into new Clone Wars episodes. The Ahsoka's Walkabout Arc began this morning on Disney Plus and is the first story of the season I don't know much about. The story reels for The Bad Batch had me comparing the new episodes to what was released online back in 2015, but there hasn't been nearly as much revealed about the final 8 episodes of this season. At Star Wars Celebration 2016, it was said that this was one of the last 3 arcs about Ahsoka that were to be told, and it would focus on her adjustment to life outside the Jedi Temple. She was planned to meet a scoundrel-type character named Nixo Kami that would get her wrapped up into the smuggling world, and there was just a bit of one animatic shown that was featured in today's episode. That's it, so I've been excited to just get into a story I'll be experiencing for the first time, and I thought this episode, titled Without a Trace, was fine. It felt pretty standard for the Clone Wars, but even though it was all new, I didn't find myself quite as invested as I did with the Bad Batch arc. This felt like a tease for the characters and some great ideas that come along with living in level 1313 of Coruscant, but we didn't really dive into any of it yet. I love that Ahsoka is starting to associate with people that not only have shady backgrounds, but straight up don't like the Jedi. Trace had a line about how she heard stories of the Jedi growing up, but they don't live up to what she expected. That's actually how I felt when I first saw the prequel trilogy. The Jedi just weren't what I imagined, but I think that's what George Lucas was going for. The Clone Wars has explored that a lot in its 7 seasons, the idea that the Jedi Order has lost its way by taking part in this conflict and forgetting about people like Trace and Rafa. So for the moment, Ahsoka is keeping her past a secret, and she gets swept up into some minor criminal dealings with the Martez sisters. Trace is the younger and more level-headed member of the family, giving Ahsoka some space to work on fixing her speeder bike, which is pretty much the only thing she has. As thanks, Ahsoka helps Rafa on a questionable job fixing some dangerous droids. She urges the sisters not to sell the droids, but they do because they have to pay some debts and, survive. That was the kind of stuff I liked most, seeing Ahsoka have to live in that gray area. The theme of the episode was, if there is no path before you, create your own. I expect that'll be a theme for the entire arc, as Ahsoka learns who she is without the safety net of the Jedi. She's never really had to make decisions like this, and it goes to show how the Jedi don't really have any idea what it's like for the normal people of the galaxy anymore. They're out of touch. So I thought this episode was okay, but a good setup for the future. I'm looking forward to seeing Trace and Rafa as they continue challenging Ahsoka, but I also want to see them find out who she really is. How will they react? And how will Ahsoka continue to reconcile her morality with her survival? I admit I'm also curious to see why Nixo Kami was swapped out for the 2 sisters. I trust Dave Filoni has a reason for it, but it's hard to guess based on only 1/4 of the story. Finally, I'm interested to see if this arc will be combined with another. I mentioned earlier that this was one of 3 Ahsoka stories left to be told. We'll be getting to see the Siege of Mandalore, but there was one other arc about Ahsoka secretly returning to the Jedi Temple to stop Palpatine from entering the Jedi Vault underground. With this being the final season, I think it would be awesome if they found a way to tell that story as well, but that's probably asking too much. I think it's unlikely, it's just an idea I always thought was cool and wanted to see on screen. So yeah, Without a Trace was fine, but I'm hoping for a little more excitement and exploration into those interesting concepts next week. Let me know what you thought of the episode in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page, where we've been releasing audio commentaries for all these new Clone Wars episodes. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.